Maine Senate Democrats will protect their majority in the state Senate.
They announced today they hold at least 20 of the 35 seats, with one seat now too close to call. In 2020, Senate Democrats flipped 2 seats and won a special election to secure the majority. In 2021, they won another special election by 28 points.
This year, they defended their majority, re-electing every incumbent. We spoke with Senate President Troy Jackson of Allagash today, who says this is a testament to the candidates who knocked on doors and talked to thousands of voters to earn their trust.
This is 4 straight elections now that I've been involved in, that we've been able to either increase our majority or keep it in the high 20s. And so for me, I got a lot of pride in that, because we had everyday people out there, working hard for Mainers, and that is what it's supposed to be about, representing Maine. And I think, like I said, the difference was they wanted to give income tax cuts for the wealthy. We cared about, property taxes, health care, women's right to choose. I mean, all those things that really are important to people.
Jackson is termed out of the Senate and will not be returning to the State House after 20 years. Republican Susan Bernard won his open District 1 seat.
As for the Maine House, Democrats say they have retained the House too, although those results are still coming in. You can read the full statement from the Maine Democratic Party chair on our website and mobile app. We have reached out to the Maine Senate and House Republicans and are waiting to hear